So, I wanted to tell you another interesting story from the dealership. So I explained that this dealership had two sides to it, a light and a heavy duty side. This was over one of the times I was at the light duty shop. Had a vehicle come in, being towed in, that was cranking no start. This would have been in 2013, I think. Yeah. And it was early to mid 2000s Ford Ranger. They were pretty darn reliable vehicles. They had some transmission issues, but typically they didn't come in for much. Well, anyway, vehicle gets dropped off, cranking no start, and mechanic does some diagnostic work, determines that it's the fuel line, the fuel pump, filter, and lines are bad, which was kind of odd for a vehicle like that. But where it got really interesting is this truck legitimately had 4,800 miles on it. Had a clean Carfax history report. Was not branded title in the Ford system, which they have a separate system outside of Carfax where they can check for title brands or accidents or anything that's going to void the warranty, with the exception of safety recalls. Everything was clean. And what we had found out had happened due to a little bit of investigating and the customer telling us, I don't remember the exact story, but it looked like whoever bought this truck bought it new, drove it until it was due for its first oil change, and then parked it. And never drove it again. It had years worth of grass blasted inside the wheels that needed to be cleaned off. The brakes were rusted to all crap. Tires were dry rotted. But with those handful of exceptions, it was a 5,000 mile 10-year-old truck that had just lived its life outside and was neglected the whole time. So I think we ended up resurfacing the brakes, doing fuel lines, fuel filter, clean the tank out, and putting a new fuel pump in it. We also did a set of tires because they were 10-year-old tires, 10-year-old tires that needed to be replaced. They had good tread on them. I mean, 5,000 mile tires. Just were dry rotted and barely holding together. Like you wouldn't have wanted to guided this. You would not have wanted to have gotten this vehicle up over 40 miles an hour. And even if you did, there's a good chance that it would have started leaking at that point. They were pretty rough looking. Truck was fine. It was just wild to me that something that was essentially new when it was parked got parked for that long, and then it had, the clear was still on the truck. It needed a good polish, a good wash, buff, and wax is what it needed. And it would have shined up like a new penny. It was just amazing that something that new just got tucked away and forgotten about for however many years. It was just wild to me. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Got more car stories coming up.